Hey everybody, welcome back to Nige's gaming channel. It's time for part 3 of Meet the People of Heartland. Today we're going to check out 3 characters. We got Vic, Keesha, and this lady here called Helena. Vic is first up. He's our medicine man. Once you turn him into a hero, his bonus is called survival training. It will give you plus 20 max health to everyone on the base. That is absolutely awesome. Traits wise, he was a veteran firefighter, which is plus 20 max stamina for him. He was sharpened by grief, which is why he's a paramedic, apparently. And he revs the engine. I really don't care too much about that. The vehicle's a bit more noisy. Meh, whatever. Let's check out Vic's skills. Nothing fancy in the first 4. Just normal old powerhouse. Vigilance for his wits specialization. Fighting-wise, he's into striking. And gunslinging was one of the options for shooting. Now, paramedicine brings with it some very cool stuff. A 10% reduction in your radio cooldowns, which is awesome. You can call stuff in more often. He'll give you plus 5 to your max med storage. And he offers medical advice, which is essentially witchcraft, I guess. He heals you over the radio. I don't know how that works. But most importantly, the trauma pharmacy. This is his unique facility, if you will. You build it next to the medical tent, and it lets you craft first aid kits. You get 3 of them for 3 medicine, 2 jugs of ethanol, and 25 parts. You can craft chemicals if you want. It'll cost you 3 medicine to get 3 cases of chemicals. You'd have to be pretty hard up for mine, just quietly. Physical therapy is an interesting one. If you want to spend 6 medicine, you can heal everyone in your base, all of their injuries and trauma in one go. Rapid recovery is the final one. If you want to spend 3 medicine, then your active character will have health regeneration for an hour, and you can stick a mod in this thing. Now, the trauma pharmacy is an interesting one, not to be confused with the medical tent. We'll get to that in another episode. But the trauma pharmacy here is only one of 2 options. It doesn't have to be a trauma pharmacy. It can be the other version, which I don't have in this game, but as I understand it, is very heavily sort of plague cure focused more than medical focused. And it comes down to a choice you make when you find Vic, who will be in a spot familiar to State of Decay 1 players. I'll show you on the map here. It's a place called the Snyder Trucking Warehouse. Vic will show up here at some point, just sort of drive around and look for him. He'll be there fighting some zombies and he'll ask you for some help with something, and this is where it gets interesting. Vic is married to a bloke called Isaac. Spoiler alert, by the way, although if that's a spoiler, then you shouldn't be watching this video. What are you doing? Go away. For everyone else, so he's married to Isaac. They had a daughter. The daughter dies in the zombie apocalypse, as I'm sure a lot of daughters did, and sons and everyone. Isaac's very upset about it, blames himself, and he's hiding from Vic. Now, Vic asks you to help find Isaac. That is very easy to do. Isaac is not far away. He's in fact just down the street. So this is where Vic is. Now, the game will give you a bunch of options in the neighborhood. There'll be, I think, 3 orange houses around this whole region all lit up, but the only one that really matters, this house here, in my experience, is where you will always find Isaac. So you go over there, you talk to him, and you get to make a choice at this point, and that choice is you lie to Vic, as Isaac requests that you do, and say that Isaac is dead. Then, as I understand it, Isaac will join your team as the plague expert guy, and you'll be able to do the other variation on the trauma pharmacy. The other choice you have is to tell the truth. Go back to Vic and say, look, hey, Isaac asked me to tell you he was dead, but he's not. If you take that path, then Vic will join your group, and that's the path I took, hence we have Vic. And we have the trauma pharmacy. God, I hope that made sense. All right, let's do a quick pros and cons for Vic. The pros, well, his hero bonus, plus 20 max health for everyone. That is very, very sweet indeed. Of course, he can build that trauma pharmacy that we've just been talking about and do all those amazing medical type things. You got to be happy with that. On the con side of things, again, revs the engine is his bad thing, plus 50% to vehicle noise or minus 50% to vehicle stealth. I guess that's the same thing, really. Is that a big issue? To me, it's not. The pros far outweigh the cons. 3 cheers for Vic and or his husband. And 3 cheers for our next contestant, Keesha the Mad Bomber Green. When you turn her into a hero, she'll bring you a bonus called Automation. That is a plus 50% facility action speed bonus, which basically means things will happen faster at your base. The things you're building, the things you're crafting, it'll all happen quicker, and we gotta love that. In the Department O traits, invents things for fun is the reason she has bomb making, and believe you me, we will get to that in a moment. She's a competitive gymnast, which for whatever reason means plus 1 to labor. I mean, I don't know, maybe she's one of those annoying, driven, organized people. She is also a chain smoker, unfortunately, which is minus 30 to max stamina. That's a bummer, but there are ways to balance that out. Skills-wise, gymnastics is a funny one. It's unique to her as far as I can see. I've never come across it before, but it is pretty much word for word the same as acrobatics. Have a look. Everything's identical, apart from light carrying capacity versus dodging farther and faster. I guess it's just a unique variant of acrobatics. Cool. Pretty box standard stuff for the rest. Scouting is her wit specialization for me anyway. I've given her striking. She's also got gunslinging. That's an option I'll always take if it presents itself, and it did here. But finally, bomb making. This one is an absolute belter. +2 to the max consumable stack is excellent. She's also got this -33% weapon repair parts cost. Basically, she can fix things using fewer parts than other people. Good times. But the real beauty of the bomb making skill, I cannot tell a lie, is this here, the Demolitions Lab. Check it out. With it, you can craft pretty much any explosive and decoy you can imagine. Everything from smoke grenades right through to firecrackers. Pretty much everything that was in the main game that you could make, but without any of the caveats like, oh, you have to know munitions or you have to have an electronics expert, otherwise you can't make C4 or whatever it may be. You can just build these. As long as you got the parts, knock yourself out. You can craft weapon attachments. Unfortunately, only the improvised and handmade variants of the suppressors and that sort of stuff, which is less impressive when you've got the fabricator shop that we've got here, because of course with this, we can make the professional versions of all of those muzzle attachments. So, why would you bother with the other variants? But I guess if you don't have the fabricator shop, this would be useful. Now, its third and final party trick, this Demolitions Lab, check it out. You can literally craft any kind of ammunition that you can think of, from 22s right up to 40mm grenades. You can even produce your own ammo with 3 cases of chemicals and 15 parts. For that, you get 2 bags of ammo. Awesome. And you can chuck a mod on this. All right, quick look at the pros and cons for Keesha. Of course, the pros would include that +1 to labor because she's a gymnast. I still don't see how those things work together, but what are you going to do? Then, of course, there's the Demolitions Lab. I mean, make any kind of explosive, decoy, or ammunition you can possibly think of. It's up there with the best facilities in the game. Can't rate it highly enough. Utterly fantastic. Get it. And the biggest con with Keesha, well, no doubt it's her lack of stamina from being a chain smoker. But like I said, there are plenty of ways to circumvent that and boost her stamina and build yourself a shooting range. There's +20. You're more than halfway to fixing it. Now, final and most important question, how do we get hold of Keesha? Well, thankfully, it's another one of those don't really worry about it. It'll just happen as part of the main game things. You don't have to recruit her, but the opportunity to do so will present itself if you just play through the game. I would recommend grabbing her just quietly. And our final contestant is the second of our 2 starting characters, Helena, the Popo Cruz. She's got a hero bonus called Regular Patrols. That means you'll need fewer beds in your community. Her traits are all positive, +20 to max stamina for being a small town deputy. She watched a lot of cop shows, which means she can see both enemies and containers from a lot further away than most people. Bright-eyed recruit, +15 morale. Good times. Skills-wise, nothing to write home about. Powerhouse is her cardio specialization. Scouting, she's got close combat for fighting, and thankfully gunslinging is one that she arrives in the game with. Police procedure is her unique skill, gives her a 50% smaller chance of making a bunch of racket when she's searching, and she finds more plague samples than most people. Does she build any unique, fancy facilities at the base? Unfortunately not. Is she difficult to find or recruit? Well, of course not. She's one of the starting characters. You don't really have any say in it. She's just there from the beginning. In fact, there's really no need to do a pros and cons on her. All her traits are positive. There are no cons. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Helena. And there we have it. Meet the people of the Heartland DLC. It's a done deal, at least the 10 people that I have in the community setup that I've been running with. I hope it's helped you out in some way. If you've got any questions at all, as always, just put them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Thank you so much for joining me here at Nige's Gaming channel, and I'll be doing another character guide with the second lot of starting characters as soon as I've played through with them.